Welcome to DreamHack Dallas. Actually, welcome back to the channel. Team Liquid hired me out to help them capture some content for an upcoming YouTube video. Their lead content creator, Joey, is the one that brought me on board, and this is our third project together. You could see him here holding the Sony camera with the Rode mic. Today's vlog is going to feature a few things. One of the things that we're going to feature is the cart that I use to bring all my equipment up. We're going to show some footage of me actually running the Easy Rig and the cameras, as well as some actual footage from the cameras themselves, my FX6 specifically. And I'm going to give you a rundown of the lighting, the cameras, and the audio used to capture all this content. What you're seeing right now is actually the crew for DreamHack and the Esports League going around capturing content, and they're using a Ronin 4D, as you can see. All right, that's loud. So that's me unloading my cart. This is a custom cart I made. It cost me about $800. I have two of them, and what's really cool is most of the parts that you need to make these can just be picked up at Home Depot or Lowe's, so your regular hardware store. And this gives me the flexibility to fix things on the fly as needed and not have to wait for stuff to get shipped in or stuff that could be delayed or whatever the case may be. But also it saves me a lot of time and money. I'm able to make these things really modular and change things up. So if I needed to move that second shelf that's down below, I could go up or down on it with just an Allen key. So that makes it really awesome because none of our gear is identical. You could go from one case to another, one crate to another, and it's going to cause problems because one's too tall, one's too short. This, you could kind of have the best of both worlds, make it short up top, bigger at the bottom, or whatever you need. Also, what's really cool is it can hold a lot of weight. All right, so here's this cart setup. So these are my custom carts. They have huge 10-inch casters. They can hold 600 pounds each, which is amazing. And there we go. So we have 600D, two ballasts right there in the first crate, and then we have two 600Ds. We have two 60Ds. We have our two camera bags. We have lenses, audio, miscellaneous in these two cases. This is kind of a catch-all case with some XLRs and a few other random things. We have our Easy Rig. Underneath the Easy Rig are our shot bags, and we have two Aputure domes. So this is my push-in once rig here in downtown Dallas. I don't want to make a second trip. Oh, and I also have 60 stands on here. So that's the full build out right there. And it's going to get pushed in by me, and I don't have to make a second trip down to grab anything. Once it's all figured out, I will bring the cart back down with whatever's not necessary. Just to give you an idea of how easily it pushes, it just rolls. Nice and smooth. Getting in and out of elevators is one of the difficult things, and it looks like I took the wrong one thinking I could get to the second floor from here, but it doesn't look like that. Elevators can be tough. You gotta make sure you can fit. Here we go. So I was in that parking lot way over there. I had to push up the hill, push in all the way here, and then all the way from down that hallway. The carpet is not fun. Whew. It eats up these tires, these casters, because they just sink in instead of floating. You see how soft this carpet is. So I arrived 4 hours before we were supposed to start shooting and 1 hour before the general public was allowed access into the venue. The important thing about this is making sure that you're ready when it's time to shoot and communicating that to the client and making sure everyone's on the same page. The worst thing that could happen is it's time to start shooting at a scheduled event and you're not ready. Here you can see I'm running my Easy Rig, my FX6, and my Shogun 7 Connect monitor. And the reason I wanted to show this shot is show you how easy it is to move around in the tight space and capture the shots necessary. You see me kind of shifting back and forth between the two subjects and just kind of panning back and forth. We were a little stagnant for a minute. Things were getting warmed up with the gameplay, and I wanted to add a little bit of a flair to it. So I was kind of doing some whip pans back and forth so they could possibly use those in the cut to kind of add some excitement. But you can see how steady the shot is. I'm sitting there giving a little bit of a sway and movement. I am actually running the 24-105 lens to give me a little bit of stabilization. So this is actually footage from my FX6 running the 24-105, and this is at 105 millimeters. Very telephoto, and not many people can run that handheld because you'll get a ton of really bad shake. But what's really great about the EasyRig Vario 5 with the stable G2 is I can get those stable shots and make them look great. And if I need to move around, it doesn't destroy the image. But also I have the ability to go wide and come in up close and personal and really capture the emotion like you see here. There's a lot going on. I'm up close and personal, and I'm getting what I need, and it looks great. So this footage was actually just put into the editor and a LUT applied, and that's it, and it's ready to go. So what you're seeing here is kind of a time lapse of me running around capturing stuff. And what I wanted to show here is the ability to be very dynamic, moving around the place without having to reset a lot of stuff. I could go high, I could go low, I could remove a hand, tap the screens, do what's necessary while capturing the content. We actually had 4 cameras. I was running one on the EasyRig, which was an FX6. Joey had an A7S3 running handheld. And then we had an FX3 and an FX6 on tripods stationary to kind of pick up the slack on our movements, so we kind of had a little bit of a safety to cut to. Now for some gear. This is the FX6 with the 24-70 running 2 Sennheiser lavs into it, one from each player, and time code running off a V-mount battery. Then we have my FX6 with the 24-105 Shogun 7 Connect, time code, running on the EasyRig with a V-mount battery. Then we have an FX3 running DJI mics that are one on each player, time code as well, running a V-mount battery. Here are the lavs. We have the 2 lavs. One of each kind goes on each player. The reason I'm doing this, it is very heavy with interference in the area, and those DJI mics record internally before transmitting as well, so we won't have any interference issues. And then we have the Zoom F6 with 32-bit float running 2 Sennheiser 416s to kind of get ambience and kind of crowd noise and cheering when it does come down. And here's Joey's A7S3 running time code through the audio with the Shinobi 5-inch monitor. And there's the Aputure 600D, and oh, there's Joey. And we're running them at 3%. There's another one right here, Aputure 600D running at 3%. And we have the regular lanterns on both of them. They're stuck up really high with Matthew stands out of the way, and they offered amazing light. 3% was great because you could see how dark it is in this whole area. They have all the lights off on the ceilings, so it made it really, really nice to be able to get good quality light spread everywhere. After a long day of setup and shooting, the best thing you can hear is camera cuts.